On our 10th anniversary, my wife Aurora's mail secretary called. It rang once and then stopped. The next second, she was frantically looking for her car keys. He must have alcohol poisoning to be calling me this late. I'm not coming home tonight. Don't make a scene, we can make up our anniversary some other time. A moment later, I had already pulled my car up to the front gate, giving her a generous wave. Your car's in the shop, remember? Get in, I'll take you to him. Aurora froze on the spot. You're not mad? I shrugged. It's a matter of life and death. We can't just let him die, can we? Why are you staring at me? Is there something on my face? To be honest, I wasn't sure what was wrong with me either. Just 10 minutes earlier, when the name Babe lit up on Aurora's screen, my voice had been choked with tears, begging her not to go. This was the 100th time Ethan had called Aurora, and it just had to be on our 10th wedding anniversary. This was the 100th time Aurora had frowned at me. Ethan drank himself into alcohol poisoning for a company deal. As his boss, isn't it my job to take care of him? I can't be as heartless as you. Ethan was her secretary, and her college sweetheart, the one that got away. I hated how pathetic I was, but I couldn't stop my fists from clenching. At least stay and have some cake with me. Can't you? The cake on the table had a heart on it that I'd decorated myself. Aurora waved her hand dismissively, sending the cake crashing to the floor. We can celebrate our anniversary any year, but Ethan only has one life. What did I ever see in you? How did I end up married to such a cold-hearted animal? She shoved past my shoulder. I stumbled against a cabinet, and a bottle of red wine fell and hit me on the head. Aurora's steps faltered, a flicker of pity in her eyes. Leo, I didn't mean to. Wait for me. I'll come back and celebrate with you after I get him settled. Before she could finish, I snatched the car keys. Who has time to think about our anniversary right now? Ethan has alcohol poisoning. Saving him is the most important thing. I'll drive. Let's go. I'll take you to the hospital. I got into the driver's seat and gave her another generous wave. Aurora was dumbfounded. On the way there, Aurora kept eyeing me with suspicion. I drove steadily, and my voice was just as steady. We can celebrate our anniversary any year. I get it, but could you please stop staring at me? Is there something on my face? Aurora looked like she wanted to say something but held back. For the first time, she didn't seem happy on her way to see Ethan. I'm really just going to look after an employee. You don't have to get the wrong idea. I nodded. Ethan was drinking for a company deal. As his boss, it would be wrong not to go. Aurora studied me, a hint of panic creeping into her voice. No, Leo, are you really not mad? I clutched my chest. I was surprised, too. It was like that knock on the head had knocked all my feelings for Aurora right out of me. The woman before me was a stranger, distant, incapable of stirring any emotion in me. So I said, with complete sincerity, this is your business. Why would I, an outsider, get mad at you? Do I look like I have nothing better to do? Once upon a time, she was always calling me fake and manipulative. Now that I was being direct, I thought she'd be happy. But her face only grew darker. She punched the car window in frustration and fell silent. In the hospital room, Ethan threw his arms open and crashed into Aurora's embrace like a moth to a flame. Aurora, I knew it. I knew you'd always have me in your heart. After he'd had his fill of clinging to her, he finally pretended to notice me and sheepishly pulled away. Mr. Chase, Aurora is just concerned about an employee. It's not the first time she's taken care of me, you know? Please don't take it the wrong way. His words were loaded, but I just waved my hand generously. It's fine if you think of him as your boyfriend. You two are in love after all. Aurora, you stay and keep him company. I'll go pay the bill for you too. Ethan was stunned. Aurora's gaze was suspicious and complex. Leo, you can throw a tantrum. You don't have to pretend to be so magnanimous. Weren't you always so petty before? I took her hands warmly and explained with sincerity. That's because I was blind back then, falling for a piece of work like you. Now Aurora was stunned, too. At the billing counter, I got more and more annoyed. I was actually paying the medical bills for this cheating couple? This is so messed up. I turned to leave but bumped right into someone. The next second, A pair of soft, warm hands steadied me. The heat of her palm burned through my thin shirt like a jolt of electricity. When I looked up, I almost bit my tongue. She was wearing a chic women's suit that outlined a breathtaking figure. Behind her gold-rimmed glasses were a pair of cunning and captivating, fox-like eyes. I swallowed hard while still in her arms. Sorry. I pulled away and quickly crouched down to pretend to pick up my receipt, hiding my burning face. She was the one who bumped into me. Why was I apologizing? Excuse me, are you all right? The woman bent down to help me. Her name tag read, Omnicorp CEO Vivian Hale. A CEO? I studied her curiously. She met my gaze with a smile, her teeth perfectly white against her red lips. I really wanted to kiss her. My tongue felt tied. You. Why are you so gorgeous in the middle of the day? The woman burst out laughing. Has anyone ever told you your pickup lines are really corny? I felt flustered and annoyed with myself. I hadn't meant to be so forward. But I couldn't help it. This woman was exactly my type, down to the last detail. It was so unfair. Just as my head was exploding with fireworks, I caught a glimpse of Aurora not far away. Her face was already a mask of fury, her voice filled with an inexplicable rage. Leo! The romantic fireworks in my head instantly turned to mud. Aurora grabbed my arm and dragged me away without another word. Her grip was tight, her nails digging painfully into my skin. I was smiling like an idiot the whole way home. Aurora's face was grim. Does me taking care of Ethan make you this happy? Yeah, I nodded, laughing. You have no idea how long those legs were. I'm so glad you know how to take care of your subordinates. Aurora paused, her expression softening considerably. I knew you were just throwing a tantrum. I know you care about getting an apology. How about this? Let's just say I was wrong this time. Your birthday is coming up, so I'll get you your gift early. The car stopped at a luxury watch boutique. The gift was a limited edition watch with a jade dial. I'd had my eye on this watch for a long time. I mentioned it to Aurora 3 times, and all 3 times she brushed me off with, I'll get it for you next time. The 4th time, she finally bought it. It sparkled brightly on Ethan's wrist. You only turn 20 once. His family is far away. Is it so wrong for me to be a little considerate of his feelings? It's just a watch, isn't it? Don't make a scene over a stupid watch. I'll get you one next time. Okay? Next time. Again. After that, I learned to keep my mouth shut. But now, she'd brought me here to buy it herself. I just didn't expect to run into Ethan at the store. He's my secretary, and he just recovered from a serious illness. As his boss, it's only right that I get him a gift to wash away the bad luck. Ethan sidled up, acting coy. It's all my fault for making Aurora worry about me for the 1001st time. Mr. Chase, if you're going to be mad at me. As long as it makes you feel better, I'll do whatever you want. In the past, I would have lost my temper with him, and Aurora would have used it as an excuse to leave me to cool off while she and Ethan ran off together. But now I felt nothing towards either of them, so I just waved my hand. All right then, you can buy this for me. I pointed to a solid gold watch in the display case. It was over $100,000. The smile vanished from Ethan's face. An awkward silence hung between us for a full hour before Ethan finally managed a pitiful expression. Buddy, that watch is a little too expensive for me. I'm just a regular working guy with parents to support. Not like you, living a life of luxury with no parents to worry about. My parents died when I was young. I never brought it up. Looks like Aurora told him about it in bed. Probably as a joke. I get that you like giving people a hard time, but I work for Aurora's company. I don't mind you making things difficult for me, but I'm afraid the other employees might get the wrong idea, that this company is run by you, not Aurora. In the past, I would have turned beet red and argued my case. Now, I wasn't the least bit angry. You're the one who offered to apologize, so I'm giving you the chance. Besides, Aurora just handed you the account for a publicly traded company. Your bonus last week should have been over $100,000. What, did you spend it all already? You. Ethan's face flushed, and he looked to Aurora for help. But for some reason, Aurora avoided his gaze this time. Ethan, buy it for him. Ethan was stunned. He never expected Aurora to take my side. His face went from red to white. He gritted his teeth and marched to the checkout counter. He looked like he was the one being bullied. 10 minutes later, the gold watch was in my hand. My eyes welled up. I couldn't help but wrap my arms around Ethan and plant a big kiss on his cheek. You're a good kid. You should act up again next time. I'm thinking about some diamond cufflinks, too. Ethan stared at me as if he were made of cement. Finally, his eyes rolled back. He clutched his chest, and he fainted dead away. When you care, everyone's a villain. But when you finally let go, everyone is surprisingly lovable. Like right now, staring at the lovely woman in front of me, I thought, what a small world. Last time at the watch shop, Ethan had a sudden heart palpitation and ended up in the hospital. I had to deliver some materials for him to the client, and that's when I unexpectedly ran into Vivian. Turns out the client was Omnicorp. In the CEO's office, I stared at the faint outline of her collarbone under her suit and wondered if she could crush me to death with those long legs. Vivian made me a cup of coffee herself. You really don't remember me? I looked at the heart-shaped latte art and felt my face burn. That pickup line was so cheesy. But coming from Vivian, I couldn't resist it. As forgetful as ever, class president. Let me jog your memory. 7th grade, class 5. The little chubby girl. It hit me. Back in middle school, there was a girl in 7th grade, class 5. Her family was well off, but she was always getting bullied. I was the 9th grade class president at the time. One day, I saw what was happening and chased off a few troublemakers for her. The girl's face was tear-stained, but she puffed out her chest and said she'd have my back from now on. She even told me to keep in touch after I went to high school. I laughed and agreed at the time, but I completely forgot about it once high school started. This person, you're not the little chubby girl, are you? I felt a twinge of guilt. Vivian pushed up her gold-rimmed glasses and sighed dramatically. Sigh. Some people just can't keep a promise. As compensation, from now on, this person must be responsible for all follow-up contact on the Omnicorp project. I asked weakly, contact with who? Vivian leaned close, her breath tickling my ear as she spoke. Me, of course. Well, it looks like my little follower is staging a rebellion. But considering I was about to have contact with her, a little rebellion didn't seem so bad. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. A man in a sharp suit came in, his name tag reading Chief Secretary. He was smiling, but his eyes held a hint of hostility. Ms. Hale, and this is? I politely extended my hand. My name is Leo Chase. I'm the liaison from Aurora's company. Oh, so you're the famous Mr. Chase, Aurora's husband. He didn't shake my hand. He just crossed his arms, heavily emphasizing the words Aurora's husband. Everyone in the industry says you're deeply in love with Aurora. Through all these years of being on again, off again, you've remained so devoted. My eyelid twitched. He might as well have just called me a simp. Vivian glanced at him, her face a blank mask. Go to accounting and settle your final pay. You don't need to come in tomorrow. My heart skipped a beat. The secretary was still smiling. What? Vivian walked over to me, her gaze hot and direct. I'm not like Aurora. I'm not that blind. Every hair on Leo's head is a treasure. I won't allow anyone to offend him. So get out and close the door on your way. Don't let me see you again. Vivian was definitely doing this on purpose. She paraded me through all 30-plus floors of the Omnicorp Tower until every single employee was calling me Mr. Chase with a friendly smile. No, he's not my husband, Vivian said seriously. I felt a pang of disappointment and buried my face in my water. He's my master. I spat my water everywhere. After 2 solid hours of walking, my legs felt like they were about to fall off. Finally, I twisted my ankle. Vivian's face went white. She dropped everything, grabbed me, and rushed out of the building. Where's the car? Get to the hospital now. Leo! Stay with me. Don't you fall asleep. I won't let you die. Do you hear me? I tried to burrow deeper into her arms. Lady, please. I just twisted my ankle, but she smelled so good, and this embrace felt so secure. At the hospital, the nurse rolled her eyes while wrapping my ankle. Vivian, however, was still a nervous wreck. Only after confirming I was as strong as an ox did she finally take me back to her villa. You're too clumsy. You get hurt too easily. From now on, I have to take care of you myself. Oh man, Vivian's probably never pursued a guy before, has she? Her excuses were so blatant. But I like blatant. And I like forceful. That night, Vivian took a shower and came out wrapped only in a towel, revealing stretches of snow-white skin and long, slender legs. I dropped my glass. How can such a devilishly perfect body even exist? Such breathtaking curves. Why is every inch of her skin glowing under the crystal chandelier? Lord, don't blame me for what happens next. She's just too damn irresistible. When she started unbuttoning my shirt and pressed her body against mine, my mind went blank. Then, there was only white noise. In the heat of passion, I ran my hands all over her. So smooth, so soft, and you smell so good. What's your secret? Thinking about you while I do my skincare routine. You like it? I really want to take a bite. Go ahead. Have a taste. My brain was crackling with sparks. She found a bowl of walnuts, and with a light squeeze of her delicate hand, she crushed one. The shell shattered, spraying pieces onto my face. I wiped them off. Every piece tastes like you. She swept over me again, wrapped in her fragrance. Day bled into night. I was on the brink of ecstasy when the phone rang. It was Aurora. Her voice was hoarse, laced with a strange anger. Leo, have you forgotten you have a wife? Only then did I notice the 99+ unread messages from Aurora on my phone, along with a video of Vivian rushing me into the hospital. And only then did I remember that I was a married man. My head cleared instantly. I jumped out of bed and started getting dressed. Where are you going? Vivian frowned. I snapped. I have a family. A complex look flickered in Vivian's eyes. You care about her? Honestly, I didn't care about Aurora one bit. But I couldn't just ignore morality. I gritted my teeth. Yes, the hope in Vivian's eyes died. I felt a pang of regret but said nothing more. It was the middle of the night when I got home. The air was thick with smoke, and cigarette butts littered the floor. Aurora's eyes were bloodshot. Where have you been these last few days? The dining table was covered with a feast of dishes. In the center sat a cake, now coated in dust. I wanted to make up for our anniversary. But you didn't come home for days. Our anniversary, do you really not care about it at all? I opened my mouth to speak. Her phone buzzed. I glanced over and saw it was Ethan. Aurora, my wound is itchy. Can you come scratch it for me? I thought she'd rush over immediately. Instead, she deleted the message without a second thought and turned off her phone. Leo, get dressed. I'm taking you out to dinner to make up for our anniversary. Just the two of us. On the way to the restaurant, she held my hand tightly, as if she were terrified of something. There, she ordered one of everything on the menu, stacking the plates several layers high on our table. She took a picture of us together and posted it to her social feed. This time it was public for all to see. 10th anniversary with my husband. The likes poured in. I liked it too, then left a comment, about to get divorced. The unloved side piece is getting ready to make way for the main event. The likes stopped abruptly. Aurora frantically deleted the post. Leo, what the hell is wrong with you? She looked at me as if I'd done her a great injustice. I was genuinely confused. Why are you pretending to care about me? Isn't it exhausting? A vein throbbed on Aurora's neck. Leo, I am your wife. I know. That's why we need to get a divorce. Aurora froze for a moment before her tone softened. I know you're mad at me right now, but we've been married for 10 years, not 10 days. You have to at least give me a chance. I nodded, agreeing completely. Yeah, 10 years and we still haven't fallen in love. Don't you think it's time we both cut our losses? You're not actually going to tell me you're deeply in love with me, are you? Aurora, being this pathetic really isn't your style. I grabbed my coat to leave. Suddenly, she spoke from behind me. What if I said I am? My feet stopped dead in their tracks. I love you, Leo. Forget that woman, and I'll break things off with Ethan for good. We can start over, have a few kids, go to the beach, walk in the woods, have barbecues on the sand. I know you have feelings for me, too. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been so hurt and sad all this time, right? An inexplicable irritation welled up inside me, and my voice grew sharp. Aurora, do you need me to sleep with another woman right in front of you before you'll finally believe me? I finally understand why you used to hate me. This baseless, desperate clinging of yours is genuinely disgusting. She stared at me in disbelief, her eyes quickly turning red. She tried to grab my arm, as if she wanted to say something more. I shook her hand off and stormed out. Even though Aurora deleted the post instantly, plenty of colleagues saw it. The office was buzzing with gossip, which fell silent the moment I walked in. Ethan swaggered up to me smugly. Sorry, Leo, but Aurora insisted on giving the Omnicorp project back to me. Said she couldn't let you handle it anymore. I tried to refuse, but she just wouldn't have it. Damn, I guess I'm gonna make a ton of money again. What am I going to do? I sighed deeply. Then you'd better hurry up and spend it before you die so you don't have to leave it behind. I figured Aurora had already looked into Vivian. To be fair, Vivian had done nothing wrong to me. I felt terrible for dragging her into this mess. I held my phone for a long time. I had burned that bridge so completely the other day, I just couldn't bring myself to apologize. Oh well, it wasn't meant to be. I decided to just leave it at that. I bought a plane ticket and flew out of town for a vacation, without telling a soul. I had barely gotten off the plane when Aurora started calling, over and over again. I finally answered. She was breathing heavily, her voice panicked. Why did it take you so long to answer? Get back here now. The company's in trouble. Omnicorp, along with several other clients, had terminated their contracts. Panic was spreading through the company. Aurora had a few new gray hairs at her temples. Leo, you started this. You need to figure something out. I scratched my head. What am I supposed to figure out? Aurora's voice rose. These clients account for 80% of our orders. If we can't save them, the company's going under. So let it go under. It's not my company. Besides, do I look like some kind of savior to you? Aurora gritted her teeth. You are the savior right now. Vivian specifically requested you to be the project liaison. I've set up a meeting for tonight. Change into a nice suit and come with me. A chill went down my spine. Are you gonna pimp me out for the project? Don't make it sound so ugly, Aurora said nonchalantly. You'll always be my husband. It's just a few drinks. Worst case scenario, I'll personally drive you to the hospital to get your stomach pumped. Even though I had no feelings left for her, I felt a dark cloud gathering over me. Was she really this clueless? Or was she just pretending? How could this possibly be about just a few drinks? But there was no way I could explain what had really happened between me and Vivian. The car sped through the city. Aurora was calm at first, but the closer we got to the hotel, the more restless she became. You and Vivian, you really broke it off? The way she wanted to have her cake and eat it too was disgusting. I deliberately straightened my tie in the rearview mirror and smacked my lips. Nope, we're rekindling things tonight. By the way, her waist is as thin as your thigh, and she can crush a walnut with one hand. It's pretty amazing. Aurora stared at me, dumbfounded. Are you mad? Maybe we shouldn't go. Forget the contracts. Let the company go bankrupt. Aurora clenched her fists, forcing herself into a stony silence. At the entrance, an Omnicorp secretary politely but distantly blocked Aurora's path. Ms. Hale's instructions are that only Leo is to go up. He's my husband, Aurora snapped. Or you can both leave. Alone on the top floor, I found Vivian, whom I hadn't seen in a while, enveloped in a heavy, oppressive atmosphere. I approached her nervously. If you really don't want to work with them, you don't have to do it for my sake. Leo. She slowly turned around, her eyes red and puffy. Do you even have a heart? My throat tightened, and my voice came out heavy. Vivian, I'm already married. Vivian's voice shot up. Is that what I'm talking about? Who the hell cares if you're married? I was stunned. You disappeared without a word. Do you have any idea how worried I was? I worried you weren't eating or sleeping well, that someone might bully you. What if you fell again like last time? What if you ran into bad people? What if you were sad and had no one to comfort you? I almost went crazy. Leo. She threw herself into my arms, burying her face in my chest. "You're too much. You knew I'd be worried sick, that I wouldn't be able to sleep." I stood there, stunned, holding her head and resting my chin on top of it. "Vivian, you're a good person. I disappeared because I didn't know how to tell you. My marriage is a failure. I have a mountain of baggage to sort out. I don't want to wrong you, and I definitely don't want you to be with me without a proper title. Do you understand?" Vivian looked up, her eyes filled with sorrow. "So you'd rather wrong yourself? What do you take me for? Do you need a reason to use me? Just use me. I don't need you to be good to me. I never planned on being your wife. I just want you to be happy. I just want to be with you, to orbit around you." I stroked her long hair, comforting her like she was a little kitten. Okay, my fault. I'm sorry for treating you like a person before. Is that better?" She mumbled into my chest. "Don't just rub the top of my head. After you're done, you have to smooth my hair down the back." "Oh my God." I gently stroked her hair as she'd asked. She purred with pleasure and even rubbed her head against my fingers twice. Who the hell could possibly resist that? I discovered that the top floor office had its own bathroom. Master must be tired. Let Vivian help you wash up. And Master must never wrong himself again. After a blush-inducing shower, I discovered there was also a bedroom. With a king-sized bed. The bedding was brand new. "Master, this bed has always been reserved for you. No one has ever used it. So where do you usually sleep?" Vivian pointed to a corner where there was a scratching post next to a luxurious cat bed. "Fine," I said. On the wall above the bed was a poster of a muscular man with a photo of my head clumsily taped onto his neck. The cabinets were filled with 3D printed figures of me in various uniforms. Pilot, doctor, firefighter, race car driver, police officer, even a mummy. The ceiling was covered in a collage of my grinning face. All teeth. "Vivian." "Meow? Just how long have you been lusting after your master?" "Meow? But Master likes it." "Meow, meow, meow." I took off my tie, rolled it into a ball, and threw it across the room. Vivian shot off like a rocket, retrieved it in her mouth, and came back, her head tilted, waiting for the next throw. I shamelessly began to play with the cat. 3 minutes of me playing with the cat, 3 hours of the cat playing with me. How did this cat get even more stamina than last time? Oh God, I've lived a good and virtuous life. I suppose being drained dry by a kitten I once knew is what I deserve. Tell me, little kitty, have you been training behind my back? Of course, meow. I have to satisfy my master, meow. We've only been apart for a few days, right? How did you get so good? Because I look at Master's picture every time I practice. Meow. I shivered. Master, do you want more, meow? I still have 80% of my stamina left. Meow. Wait. I just shivered. Don't get the wrong idea. No. Don't lick. Don't get on top. Stop scratching me. Help. Aurora started acting very strange. I had to hold onto the wall to walk out of the hotel that day. It was already dawn, and I was about to call a car. I never expected Aurora to still be waiting at the entrance, a sea of cigarette butts at her feet. She asked with a dark face why my meeting had lasted all night. I tied up my messy hair, red-faced and panting, revising the proposal. A light breeze blew between us. Don't worry, I won't get the wrong idea. You don't have to lie to me, right? You were just doing it for the contract. Aurora's shoulders were slumped as she muttered to herself, though I wasn't sure who she was talking to. The Omnicorp deal was saved. Aurora threw a celebration dinner. During the toast, I raised my glass high and announced my divorce from her. The lively banquet fell silent. In the past, Aurora would have started screaming at me. But this time, she just broke into a sweat and raised her glass, apologizing repeatedly. Leo's drunk. He's confusing me with his ex-girlfriend. Everyone burst into laughter. In their minds, our 10-year marriage was unbreakable. They forgot that I didn't have an ex-girlfriend. Aurora was my first. Once the project was on track, I started going to Vivian's private gym every day. Aurora seemed to have a lot she wanted to say to me. One morning, breakfast suddenly appeared on the table. I didn't feel a shred of gratitude, only a sense of irony. Just 6 months ago, I was still making breakfast for Aurora every day, and she would just frown at it. Leo, if you can't cook, don't try so hard. Your futile efforts are just sad. When I switched to ordering from a luxury restaurant, her anger turned to joy. You're finally getting it. Hurry and pack some up for me. I need to bring it to the office. My secretary Ethan worked all night and must be starving. Now, as I walked to the table, Aurora's face lit up. I packed all the breakfast into a thermal container. Vivian worked all night and must be starving. I'm gonna go check on her. The look on Aurora's face was indescribable. I rushed to the door, but she suddenly grabbed my wrist. Leo, can't we even have one meal together? I paused. Are you angry? Aurora didn't hide it. Yes, I'm angry. Shouldn't I be? You're using the breakfast I made with my own hands to woo another woman. Shouldn't I be angry? I snorted. Good. I'm glad you know. Go on, stay mad. Vivian's waiting. I calmly shook her hand off and snatched her car keys. I'm borrowing the car. After the mouth-to-mouth feeding incident, Vivian and I had lost all sense of shame. As she worked on me, Vivian said, Aurora changed the project liaison again. What do you think? I gripped her steering wheel. What does that have to do with us? Good kitty. Focus. Vivian floored the gas. It's because it does have something to do with us that she wants to snatch you back. Gently. You're bumping into me. I screamed. Harder? Got it, harder it is. Ah, go to hell. When I got back to the office, all my things had been thrown in the trash. Aurora had fired me and ordered me to hand over all my work to Ethan. Ethan didn't even bother to pretend anymore. The whole company knows you're cheating with Ms. Hale. Aurora's given up on you. By the way, I helped spread the word. How's that for my KPI? I rummaged through the trash with a blank expression. Forgot to tell you, Omnicorp's quality control just found a safety issue with the company's product. I already gave Vivian a heads up. She'll be suing for triple the penalty fee. Thanks for firing me. This has nothing to do with me anymore. You can handle the communication from here on out. The next second, his phone rang frantically. As Ethan cursed my name behind me, I jumped into the flashy pink Ferrari Vivian had just given me and floored it, leaving him in a cloud of exhaust. Leo, stop. You just wait. The company will hold you responsible for dereliction of duty. Leo, how dare you dump this huge mess on me? Wait, I was wrong. Can we talk about this? Leo, you can't do this to me. I deliberately slowed down, letting Ethan chase me in his leather shoes until he fell flat on his face. Aurora called me a dozen more times, but this time I just blocked her. She used to be my boss. Now that I was gone, she could be as quiet as the dead for all I cared. I went abroad again, only returning to the city when I figured the lawsuit was probably over. I didn't expect to find Aurora waiting for me outside the Omnicorp building for months. Her hair was a mess. Her eyes were sunken with dark circles, and her suit was wrinkled. When she saw me, her dull eyes lit up. Leo, I finally found you. Please, convince Ms. Hale to drop the lawsuit. Half the employees have already left in just a few months. If this keeps up, the company will be finished. I scratched my head. Didn't you used to complain that the company had too many lazy parasites who didn't want to work the 24/7 grind? Now that there are fewer people, why aren't you happy? Aurora was speechless, her face turning red and white. Leo, are you still mad that I didn't give you a severance package? As long as you help the company get through this crisis and apologize to those corporate drones for all the problems you caused so they'll come back, I'll give you your compensation right away, no questions asked. How's that? Happy now? I flashed the 30-carat diamond on my luxury watch in her eyes. Your little compensation package wouldn't even cover the shipping fee to get this watch repaired. Stop disgusting me and go to the farmer's market. It's crowded there, a good place to beg. Aurora's face flushed. Leo, are you really going to be this cruel? Don't you forget who spent 10 years nurturing you. Without my introduction, you'd never have had the chance to climb up to Ms. Hale's level. Are you really going to burn this bridge? I nodded solemnly. That's right, burning the bridge. You gonna bite me or yell at me? Aurora's face turned shades of green and black. She clenched her fists, gritting her teeth. Leo. After a long moment, She took a deep breath and forced a smile that was closer to a sob. Fine. Just name your price. As long as you save the company, you can have whatever you want. I thought for a long time, then clapped my hands, delighted. Vivian just got me a villa, but it's a bit far. It's inconvenient for her to come for our trysts. We need a driver. How about you be Vivian's driver? You drive in the front and we'll make out in the back. A vein pulsed on Aurora's forehead, her chest heaving. She couldn't get a word out. I shrugged. Not interested. Fine. I'll ask Ethan instead. He's always so eager. Aurora's company's cash flow dried up. She and Ethan had a massive fight. It got so bad that Ethan said something that set Aurora off, and she physically attacked him. Furious, Ethan stole company secrets and sold them to Vivian. Aurora's company collapsed instantly, leaving her buried in debt overnight. She started bombarding me with messages and calls, saying she was willing to be the driver, as long as Vivian and I saved her and kept the debt collectors from breaking her legs. Vivian had someone pass a message to her. You know exactly who has access to your company's secrets, don't you? Later, Ethan was suddenly kidnapped by a group of thugs. He woke up in the hospital, where doctors told him his kidneys were severely damaged and he would need dialysis for the rest of his life. Ethan lost his mind. Aurora still didn't let him off the hook. She sued him for selling trade secrets and, ignoring his mental state, had him sent to prison. Meanwhile, Vivian and I were sunbathing on a beach in the Maldives. I handed Vivian a coconut. Did you leak Ethan's location to Aurora? Vivian rubbed against my chest pitifully. Is that what you think of me? That I'm that shameless? I tapped her on the head. It's not just what I think. Is there any part of me where you haven't been shameless? But still, nice work. My life got back on track. I joined Omnicorp as the chief secretary. There were always new guys joining the company who didn't like me. They'd slick back their hair with gel, douse themselves in cologne, and squeeze between me and Vivian. Ms. Hale, Mr. Chase is so busy. Let me handle little things like getting coffee. Vivian would smooth her custom-made suit and nod elegantly. There's a Starbucks across the street. You can work there and make all the coffee you want. Char, fire him. And put him on the industry blacklist. Back in the CEO's office, I'd get all pouty. The great President Hale is so popular. With all these young guys around, aren't you going to pick one? Vivian remained elegant. Every hair on my body belongs to you. Only you have the right to pluck them. Vivian was acting strange today. Her shirt was buttoned all the way to the top. I was about to ask if she was hot when she turned to face me and shyly pulled open her collar. It revealed a silk choker around her neck. As the shirt slowly slid down, I saw the choker had a chain that lay along her collarbones and rested in the middle of her flat stomach. I gulped, unable to help myself. As we got closer, Vivian's voice was muffled. I regret firing him. I'm going to have HR call him back. My hand trembled. I should make him watch you groom me so he can be really jealous of me. My hand trembled again. Where did you get the collar and chain? Vivian lifted her head, her eyes flashing with jealousy. You know that ragdoll cat we saw this morning from our neighbor's house? You petted it. It started to dawn on me. So that's why you tricked me into going home to get something and insisted I come to the office by myself. You're not jealous of a ragdoll cat, are you? Vivian pouted. The second you left, I scared it off, snatched its collar, and put it on myself. So, it suits me, right? From now on, you're not allowed to pet any other cats. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. My apologies, my apologies. I'm sorry. How about top-grade bluefin tuna for dinner, okay? Meow, 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 meow. The next day, I felt so bad that I secretly bought a new collar and some premium cat food to give to our neighbor as an apology. When Vivian found out, she gave me the cold shoulder for days. After I finally managed to coax her back with tuna, I asked her what was wrong. She stammered, her ears turning red. You bought it a new collar, but you didn't buy one for me. Are you in love with it? When I didn't say anything, she took it as a yes. Her eyes welled up, and she came to rub against my knees, looking utterly pitiful. Master, I don't ask for your loyalty, but if you get other cats in the future, please don't forget me. After all, I've already decided to have only one master for the rest of my life. Oh my God. I was about to cry. I hugged her. You big dummy. Even if I have other cats, they'll be the ones we make together. Speaking of which, should we try making one now? The next second, I was grabbed by the scruff of my neck and thrown onto the bed. Even as the company thrived, I insisted on going to work every day. One day, years later, I encountered a beggar at the entrance. Her clothes were tattered, but her face looked vaguely familiar. Sir, ma'am, please spare some change. Her voice was familiar, too. The beggar was kneeling on a skateboard, pushing herself forward. The skateboard bumped into my leg. My special assistant snapped. Where did this blind beggar come from? Do you have any idea who you just bumped into? That's Mr. Chase. Hearing Mr. Chase, the beggar's head shot up. Her eyes widened in shock, and tears welled up instantly. I recognized her, too. For a moment, I was stunned. My assistant's eyes darted back and forth between us. He asked cautiously, Mr. Chase, do you two know each other? No, we don't know each other. I'm so sorry. The beggar quickly lowered her head, terrified of being recognized. She hastily turned around, using her hands to push herself away on the skateboard. I watched her go for a long time. As memories of the past flashed through my mind, I felt neither joy nor sorrow. I realized I had truly let it all go. I turned to my assistant. Find out where that person lives and give her some money. The assistant nodded. Should I mention your name? No need, I said, rubbing the ring Vivian had given me as I looked up at the sky. She'll figure it out. The sky was a brilliant blue, just like my dazzling future. Finally, free from everyone's chains, completely and utterly free.